You guys know me. I love a good freak out where someone completely fails to control their emotions and makes an absolute fool out of themselves in public. But you know what I love more than that? A good story. But what happens when a good story meets a good public meltdown? You get a piece of art. Something that not even Leonardo da Vinci could paint. He couldn't portray such beauty. And today I'm happy to say we were blessed with this perfect storm. We got an absolutely wonderful apocalyptic explosion in public over nothing, and an incredible narrative to accompany it.
Do you have a vagina?
I don't know. That's kind of my business. Do you?
Do you have a vagina? I couldn't imagine a stronger intro- Oh my god. Oh my god. That was my dog. She just scared me. She must have been having a dream and kicked my chair. I thought for sure an earthquake had just hit Florida. Wow. Alright, now that my heart rate's come down after that jump scare, what I was saying is this is one of the finest beginnings to any fairy tale I've ever heard. Like, imagine if Harry Potter had started with a question like this: do you have a vagina? It immediately sets the tone for the rest of this video here.
You don't need to be asking these persons.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to ask.
You're the one asking me what gender I am.
I didn't ever ask you that.
You're asking my pronouns.
I didn't ask that either.
Do I look like a man?
I don't know what you
Do
look
I
like.
sound like a man?
Maybe, I don't know.
There's a lot to unpack here, so let's pour some milk on this cereal. The lady on the street is accusing the person filming of asking her pronouns or something, which apparently never happened. The context for what led up to this is this lady who's on the street right now causing a bit of a ruckus. She was eating at this restaurant and then claimed that the restaurant served her cat meat instead of chicken. So naturally she was outraged. I don't know what the restaurant was, but the only place I could imagine serving you cat meat is Burger King, and it would probably be better than their normal menu. So she's upset, thinking that she didn't get the chicken she had rightfully paid for, and she's making a big hoopla about it. Apparently she had threatened to go get assault rifles, which I imagine is implying she'll come shoot up the place. She was also apparently throwing things at the window of the restaurant, which is when this person started filming this freakout. And that's where we're coming in here into the story. So we're already in like Act 2 of this play, but now you know what led up to this moment. I also forgot to mention that shortly before recording, she was allegedly throwing around slurs as well. Now I'd like to focus a bit on when she says, "Do I sound like a man?" Because she does something very interesting here, and I don't know if you caught it. I'll play it again.
Do I look like a man?
I don't know what you
Do
look
I
like.
sound like a man?
Maybe, I don't know.
When she says, "Do I sound like a man?" she does it in a goofy accent that sounds like a Scottish professor. I don't know why. I guess some wires got crossed in her brain or something, or perhaps she really believes that every man sounds like a distinguished Scottish gentleman, but it is such a beautiful, like, flair to her sentence that I couldn't help but point it out.
Do I stand like a man?
What does a man stand like? Oh, then I guess no.
This is my favorite part. Do I stand like a man? And then she strikes this ballet recital pose. She gets into like this wide stance. It looks like she's about to go into an improper deadlift. These kind of reminds me of like when kangaroos flex. You know, when they throw their arms out and you see like all their bicep veins and shit like that? It's the same pose. Yeah, don't mind me. Just a dude posting up, just standing like a man. Because that's how all men stand. I've never seen a human being stand that way, let alone just some guy. I don't know what's going on here. It's like a video game NPC that's starting to malfunction here. Like her animations are getting messed up, so her idle animations all kind of like janky. It's just a wild ride. And I've seen a few people talk about it, and they've said that this may have been like mental illness or something, and it's impossible to know for sure. But I've seen a lot of freakouts. I wouldn't necessarily call myself an expert, but I'm not far off from my degree either in analyzing meltdowns, I'd speculate. So I'll go ahead and pass my professional opinion here. I think that this is probably substance-induced. I've seen a lot of these kind of things, and they all have one thing in common. Typically, some sort of substance leads to an outburst like this. So that's my little armchair analysis here. But again, I don't know for sure, and if it is mental illness related, hopefully she gets the help she needs. But threatening to bring assault rifles to shoot up the place is not acceptable under any circumstance, nor is throwing rocks at the place and throwing around a lot of slurs.
Yeah, record me. Are you recording? You sneaky bitch. Are you fucking recording me right now?
I'm holding my phone.
Okay, good. Call 911.
They're already on the way.
Perfect. Can't wait to talk to the officer. Ah! Stop! Oh, stop! Stop! Fuck you! Fuck you guys! Ah!
You've gotta love a happy ending. I want to give massive props to the person filming this. They did an amazing job. The conversation that they engaged on, like that back and forth, seemed like something out of a cartoon. It was so well done. They were able to respond to the lady's wild questions so quickly. Do I stand like a man? Strikes the pose. Well, no, I guess not in that case. Just really impressive stuff, and I love this cut from can't wait for the cops to get here to being arrested. Like, you couldn't draw it up any better than that. So, to give a little context what happened here, after the initial, back and forth and the do I stand like a man and her fucking going hog wild on that pose, she left and then came back, but this time was a little more combative. The cops were called, cops arrived, and she was arrested. I don't know exactly what led to the arrest, because typically what would happen in a case like this is the cops just tell her to get out of here, scram, skedaddle. I'm assuming she got very combative with the officers as well. So, pretty rough set of circumstances, but I don't think the person filming did anything wrong. Threatening to shoot up the restaurant and throwing rocks at it, that's definitely grounds to at least, getting the authorities there to say, hey, no, please leave. At the very least. Now, this is where the story wraps up. There's still a few plot holes here that I don't have the answer to. Whether or not the restaurant was actually serving cat meat remains to be seen. I'm sure there will be a thorough investigation after she files her claim on it. I would venture a guess saying that probably not. I think it'd be a lot harder to get cat meat than it would be just to get chicken in the first place. Like, you can find chicken everywhere now. You can fucking find chicken in a dumpster outside. I could throw a rock right now and probably hit a giant chicken breast. It's just so readily available. Whereas cat meat, it seems a little bit harder to source. So, I wasn't there. I didn't taste it. And even if I did, I don't know if I'd be able to identify the taste of cat over chicken. My palate's not that fine-tuned. So, we don't know for sure whether or not it was cat or chicken. I'm going to go ahead and throw my hat in here and say it was probably chicken. Thus, I don't think there was any reason for this giant meltdown in the first place. There's so few instances of a justified public freakout where I'm actually rooting for the person going ballistic. Most of the time it's just a minor inconvenience that gets blown way out of proportion by somebody. But the ones where I do root for the person going wild are the ones where it's like in court and the person who murdered a family member or did something heinous to a family member gets beat up by that family, or somebody like goes after them and gets a few rogue punches in before the cops separate them. I'm always pumping my fist saying, you know what, great. But aside from those extreme cases, it's never worth embarrassing yourself like this in public at all. Anyway, I just wanted to share this one with you because I found it to be an entertaining, short, little freak out, and that's really about it. I've made quite a lot of content covering fast food freakouts where entitled stupid customers have an absolute meltdown and go on a rampage over trivial problems with their order, and they range from like goofy and silly to downright sad and tragic. Like the time a guy shot 2 Subway workers, killing one of them because they put too much mayonnaise on his sandwich. This evil, smooth-brain idiot actually took someone's life because they went a little heavy on a condiment. Jesus Christ. Mayonnaise may not be an instrument, but it was a death sentence for this worker, unfortunately. It's beyond tragic, and what's even sadder is just how common these kind of responses are in the fast food industry. That is far from the only case of someone losing their life to something super stupid like too much mayonnaise. And I know I've talked about that story in particular before and many others like it, and today I want to talk about another situation that happened a couple days ago, and this one has a whole video for it. And this video is shocking. Like, this is more shocking than the Into a Darman film. It had my eyes wider than the first time I gazed upon a bare breast. It has so much going on over something so little. So I'll quickly give you the lore here, the motivation behind what you're about to see, so you can watch this video in a pure state of bewilderment over the reaction to something so insignificant. A customer goes into a restaurant late a couple nights ago and he orders chicken and waffles as well as fish and coleslaw. He is served and even appreciates the food, he eats it, and then leaves. He comes back 45 minutes later and says he actually wanted chicken wings instead of chicken tenders, and demands that they whip him up a fresh batch of chicken wings in order to satiate his gluttony. Well, the store's 5 minutes to closing, and they say that's not really, on the table here. That's not really in the cards. We're about to close, so we can't do that. The person in charge at the restaurant even offers a refund, which is beyond generous. This guy's a fucking saint. To even be offering a refund, even though he ate what he ordered and then came back to make a big hullabaloo over nothing. So he offers the refund and then just asks for the card that was used to pay for it, so that way he could, give the money back. However, he noticed that there was a bag with chicken wings in it, but it was another customer's order whom was going to be served those chicken wings. And this fucking sets him off and leads to everything you're about to see in this video. I know the story I just told you is riveting. It's like a fucking Dr. Seuss book. And it actually happened. That is the motivation from everything I've read on the story behind this huge blow up here. Obviously, we're coming into the action after the first quarter here, so they're already in a bit of a scuffle. So we get to see him like lunging over the counter multiple times, grabbing like the payment processing unit, like fucking ripping it off, and then when he's unsuccessful there and falls off the counter, he runs to the door and rips it off the hinges. This man came in here with stupid strength, so he takes the door, rips it off the hinges almost effortlessly, as if he was like ripping a piece of paper. I imagine it had to just be all of the adrenaline because he's not that big of a guy, so he probably tore like half of his muscles in his arms just pulling that off so easily. Or maybe this is just how he powers up, like Popeye with his spinach. This guy, when he doesn't get his chicken wings, he goes into like fucking Superman mode. He becomes like some kind of invincible fucking Hulk.
Shit got real.
Now the restaurant worker is fighting back. He brings out like some kind of police baton, almost. I don't exactly know what it is, but he's got the stick out now, and he's ready to get a little crazy with it. So he chases him out there and starts like whacking him with it like he's swatting a fly. The goofball customer also tries to use that door he ripped off as some kind of weapon, so he tries to like almost swing it like a baseball bat there for a second before realizing it was way too heavy for that, and also the guy hits him with the stick. And then they go to the ground, so we get into the ground and pound phase of the boss fight.
Oh, my stars. He didn't know. Oh, he did not do that. Oh. Oh. Dash.
The restaurant worker won on the ground game, I believe, and then even gets to claim his prize of the douchebag's phone, so he takes it and smashes it. Much to the dismay of the camera guy, he seemed like personally offended that this fucking asshole's phone got smashed. The way he acts makes it sound like he's stunned that such a dishonorable move was pulled during such an honorable fight. He's like, oh my goodness, now you've crossed a line. Everything up until this point was all good manners and by the book, textbook Knight's Honor Code, and then you go and smash his phone. A despicable display of sportsmanship. Like, what the fuck? The dude deserved to have his phone smashed, bare minimum, at the very least. Like, that was absolutely par for the course. And that's not where this stops. There's no audio here, so I'll just go ahead and tell you what you're looking at. It is the fucking guy crashing his company tow truck into the building and then scooting away. So he zooms on out of there, peels out. Now, of course, I'm no expert here, but using the company car to commit a crime is probably a pretty fucking dumb idea. Not that he was making good decisions before then either, but that has to be one of the most identifiable things you could possibly be driving in order for people to track you down. The fucking company tow truck, of all things. And he blasts it into the side of the building here and then gets out. He gets the fuck out. What's crazy, though, is that he still hasn't been found. Despite the company tow truck being identified, the actual person, has still, as of right now of me recording this, hasn't been arrested for it or anything. How is that possible? There's a lot of damage to the tow truck itself, and I don't think he owns the business, because if he did, I doubt he'd be using his fucking tow truck as a goddamn missile. Like, whoever owns that business should have probably noticed by now that, wow, this tow truck's pretty fucked up. Well, what happened to it? And then, dots start getting connected, like, holy shit, my employee is that absolute menace that was just on the news for crashing a tow truck into the side of a restaurant. Well, not even the side, into the front door of a restaurant. Like, I don't know how we're at this stage where this guy is still getting away with it 2 days later.
The customer ripped the door off its hinges,
grabbing the door, trying to come inside the store with the door.
They tussled outside the restaurant before the angry customer ran, but it wasn't over yet.
He jumped in his tow truck, then he slashed the whole building with his truck.
We're living in a day and age where we can get multiple angles of pretty much anything that happens out in the world, so we get a deeper look at what happens outside of the store here, as well as seeing the entire situation with the tow truck going right into the building. We've got, the Instagram angle from just boots on the ground guy who's there in person filming it on his phone, and then we have the security camera footage in order to give us the other side here, so we can catch every little detail, which is fantastic, very cinematic. And I think the coverage here is very important because it does point out exactly what I just said about the company tow truck, but it sheds more light on exactly how he's evading authorities right now, and it's very surprising.
It appears there was a passenger in the truck at the time, and despite the heavy damage to the front end, the angry customer drove away. Now, the truck had a logo on it, a solid lead, right?
The towing truck companies, sometimes they lent their trucks to each other.
So, he says police told him that doesn't identify the driver.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't have the driver's name on the side of the truck or anything. It's not like he had a flag that he was flying that said, here's who I am, or anything. But if you do a little, investigating, I feel like it should be easy, right? There'd be a paper trail of lending a fucking tow truck to another tow truck company or another person, right? There would absolutely be some kind of documentation on where this tow truck went if it was lent out. At least I would assume. Again, I'm not a fucking expert, but I can't imagine it's that difficult. That is one of the most fucking identifiable things he could have been driving. Like, it really can't be that hard to figure out where this tow truck came from, who lent it, and who did it get lent to. It should be a pretty easy trail to follow, I would guess. But maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking about it too naively. That's very possible as well. But this is just such a fucking wild situation all over chicken wings. Well, and it's not like he didn't get served food either. Like, it's not even that he's hangry, right? It's not even like it's not you when you're hungry type situation. The dude ate a full meal, chicken tenders, waffles, fish, and coleslaw, but then wanted wings instead. So he already had a full tummy, his belly was stuffed, but he just wanted some more, and they were like, hey man, it's about to close, how about no? And that's what set all this shit off. Fucking wildness. And what's even wilder is not too long ago we had another situation where a woman crashed her car into a Popeyes because they were missing the biscuits from her order. So she threw her life away over some missing biscuits. There's no video footage of this one that exists. However, in my head, I picture it like Gears of War 3 when Dom crashes his vehicle into the explosive shit that destroys some of the locusts. She just leans her head back. As she's about to crash into the restaurant, and she just thinks to herself, this is worth it. The biscuits are worth it. As it all just fucking explodes in front of her here at the fucking Popeyes where she's crashing her car into because of the biscuits being absent. Point is, fast food work is dangerous. All types of unhinged lunatics enter these establishments and go berserk. And this is just another case of that happening, and this one just happened to have video footage around it, so I wanted to talk about it a bit. That's really about it. I'm wishing the best for the restaurant workers as well as just the entire establishment. Hopefully it can get back to 100% soon, and whoever was responsible for it gets held accountable. That's about it. See ya. Another day, another whiny, entitled loser having a meltdown and freak out in a fast food drive-thru. This time, the temper tantrum is caused because he was declined a pup cup.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, please.
I'm doing a video.
I'm gonna need you to leave, sir.
Why was the reasoning why you won't give me a pup cup?
We're not allowed to do pup cups.
Yes, you are. I come here 2-3 times a week, every week, and get a pup cup.
As a dog owner myself, I am very familiar with this item. It's super simple. It's just a cup of whipped cream. It's not winning any Michelin stars, but it's just a nice little treat for your dogs if you're going to a couple of fast food places that offer it. I think the main one is Starbucks. But I didn't even know it was like super common outside of that. So it's not surprising that they're saying, no, you can't get a pup cup here. And also, 2 to 3 of those a week? That's excessive. At that point, just get your own can of whipped cream. Like, what the fuck?
Every time I come here.
They're not supposed to do pup cups. If they're doing it, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Do you not understand? It's just a little cup of whipped cream.
So I need you to leave, please.
Why won't you give me a pup cup?
Because we do not do pup cups at this establishment.
Bullshit. Came here yesterday and got a pup cup.
Somebody hand me the phone, please. Call the police.
She's calling the police because I want a pup cup?
She's calling the police because you're an annoying pest that refuses to leave, even though she's told you multiple times they don't do pup cups. Now, if you've received some of those sacred treasures here, that wonderful cuisine in the past, it means you got lucky, and the workers probably just didn't want to deal with you because you're a headache and decided to just oblige and give you those pup cups, but it's not something this establishment normally does, and she's telling you that. You're also making a problem for the workers that were nice enough to you to give you those pup cups by snitching on them here. Just accept the no, take the L, and move on. Go to a different place that offers it, or better yet, go to Publix or your local grocer, get a can of whipped cream, and then give your dog your own personal pup cup. She has done nothing wrong, she's not being mean, she told you no, which she has every right to do. And for some reason, you're making this a huge song and dance, and for some reason, so many people have these brain worms in society today, like these parasites that infest their mind that think that they're always in the right. So he starts filming this interaction himself. What should be a shameful moment for him that should keep him awake for weeks to come is something that he is proudly posting online himself. It's embarrassing. It's super fucking embarrassing. You're delusional. You're not in the right. No one's on your side. Just leave. They don't do pup cups. And stop saying that word. It grinds my ass. It chafes my fucking butt how many times he says the word pup cup throughout this video. He spams that word more often than a Rocket League player spams what a save. It drove me nuts. It was so fucking grating.
Let's see what the police have to say because a person wants a pup cup? Seriously, you're calling the police because someone wants a pup cup. That's absolutely absurd. It's absolutely ridiculous. Cassopolis, Michigan.
I'm not entirely sure who shouted for being an idiot. My guess is it's one of the customers behind him, since he's clearly congesting the drive-thru here and putting it to an absolute halt, grinding it to a standstill. So I'm guessing they were getting mad and started shouting at him, just throwing tomatoes at this clown here. Just boo, boo, you stink, please stop, you're being an idiot. That's my guess. But it also could have been one of the workers from inside saying that, because he's now making everyone's day much more miserable there. He just doesn't seem to grasp that it has nothing to do with the pup cup. It has to do with his refusal to leave after being told no.
No. That's absolutely ridiculous. All you have to do is put some goddamn whipped cream in a cup, and so that my dog can have a pup cup. And I was paying for it. I asked to pay for it.
So fucking what? They still said no. It doesn't matter how easy it is. They don't do that here. Your dog's not gonna die from lack of pup cup. It's not like that's the only sustenance keeping it alive. It's not just going to fucking explode if it doesn't get like the sugar from the whipped cream. It'll be fine. Go make your own pup cup at home and get the fuck out of the drive-thru and stop making everyone's day more miserable and worse by your presence. You absolute worm.
You McDonald's people need to start, like, come on now. It's a freaking pup cup. Arrogant McDonald's manager right there. Right there. Cassopolis, Michigan. I'm going to corporate with this. McDonald's doesn't support dogs, but you want me to round up to support the freaking kids every time I come here?
What the hell is even that? What are you saying? This man's gone loopy from how upset he is at getting told no. He's just not making any sense. It's just a bunch of mumbo-jumbo gobbledygook here. No, this isn't even a coherent rant anymore that he's yelling about. Just flapping his gums over nothing. What do you mean you're going to send this to corporate? What do you think they're going to do about it? What do you think their response is going to be? Excuse me, McDonald's CEO, Ronald, sir. Look at what just came across my desk. Take a peek here. It seems one of our restaurants in Cassopolis, Michigan did not serve a customer a pup cup despite being asked to. Shut it down. Get the Hamburglar on the line right now. We gotta take that establishment offline ASAP, track down the customer, and give him a lifetime supply of pup cups ASAP to make this right. Like, this isn't even something they offer. What is corporate gonna do, you fucking goofball?
It's a little bit of whipped cream in a cup, and I'm paying for it. It's a pup cup. Quit being so stubborn. Just give me a freaking pup cup. This could all be averted with a little bit of whipped cream in a cup for my dog.
Why don't you stop being so stubborn? This could all be averted if you weren't just such a whiny little baby man. Just take the no and leave. Scram! Get out of town. Oh my goodness.
This is why America's going to people like you. We don't do pup cups. I come here 2-3 times a week and get a pup cup. Tell me I can't get a pup cup.
Ah, yes. This is what's wrong with America. This is the reason why America's going to shit. They'll no longer serve a good red-blooded American patriot like this man a pup cup that he was trying to pay for. What happened to us? We used to be a proper country.
Wait till you lose your job when I send this to corporate. I'm waiting till the police get here. Not much, man. It really didn't need to escalate like this, but
You're right, it definitely did not need to escalate like this. But you're a little bitch who couldn't just take no for an answer. So it did escalate like this. And what do you mean, wait till they lose their job? They've done nothing wrong. They've done absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever. No one's losing their job here.
And she's sitting there making a big deal saying, we don't do pup cups, you need to leave. I want you to leave. I'm like, hold on, I'm going to pull up my phone. I'm like, you guys are really refusing to give me a pup cup for 35 cents? That, you know, it shouldn't be asking. And she's like, I'm calling the cops if you don't leave. I said, go ahead and call the cops because I want to document this because they're calling the cops on a customer, a paying customer that comes here regularly.
You're not entitled to a goddamn pup cup, and also you're boring the officer to death by taking him on a trip to Yappersville because you won't shut the fuck up about this. You're not in the right here, and the officer is not on your side. And in fact, it ends with him getting trespassed and banned for this. Like, I don't know what outcome you could have possibly expected here.
We're just out here to keep the peace.
That's what I want.
Said you were screaming at him and yelling at him and videotaping and...
I wasn't screaming or yelling. Arrogant McDonald's manager right there. Just give me a freaking pup cup.
He tries to claim he wasn't yelling at them, and then whoever uploaded this video, I found it through Reddit, I don't think this is the original upload, whoever uploaded this easily showcased multiple instances of him yelling. Plus, he filmed all of this himself. He can easily just be disproven with his own video that he has. It's ridiculous to try and claim that he wasn't yelling.
Wouldn't do. He's good with me. Okay, man, you're banned. Find another place.
That's cool.
I don't know if
I won't come back here.
I'd appreciate that.
I don't want to.
Now he'll go terrorize another McDonald's by demanding a pup cup, and the cycle will continue. Just making a huge commotion because he refuses to take no for an answer and also refuses to just get his own can of whipped cream. You don't need to be getting pup cups 2 to 3 times a week for your dog. That's way too much, I would say. But anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit because, once again, another example of someone filming their own most embarrassing moment, and all the time it seems to happen at fast food establishments where people are delusional enough to think they're in the right despite throwing a temper tantrum over nothing. There's this entitlement plague that's sweeping the nation, I guess. That's really about it. So yeah. Last night on stream, someone recommended watching a video called The Guy Freaks Out in Apartment Lobby, which is a super vague title. That's like going on Pornhub and typing in boobies and trying to find one particular video you have in mind. But to my surprise, I actually did find the video they were talking about, It's a fucking wild adventure, but I couldn't finish it on stream because at one point he starts showing his asshole and ass cheeks. Not really the asshole, you'd have to really slow down the footage in order to get a look at the brown balloon knot, but he does bring out his ass cheeks, and since he wasn't in a hot tub, Twitch isn't okay with ass on their platform, so I had to back out of the video and didn't get to finish it, which is an absolute shame. It's like starting Breaking Bad without finishing it, just truly a sin, and you're incomplete until it's done. So today I wanted to go back and watch it, and I'd like to finish the rest of it with you here on YouTube, but obviously I won't be showing the guy's ass cheeks or anything like that. If you missed the stream last night, you really fucked up. The streams I do every day at twitch.tv/moistcritical are the best on the internet, so please feel free to stop in, put some extra inches on your penis. Would love to see you there.
Don't come in! Don't come in! Leave! Leave! Leave!
Why? He's just trying to hang out and party. I'm missing crucial lore.
Yeah, the guy's not letting him in.
I'm gonna call the cops again.
To ask him to leave my office, like you.
Shut your mouth!
Oh my god,
It's for the police.
he's speaking Slytherin!
We need somebody to come to the truck.
In case he assaults you.
Jesus, oh god! He's casting a curse!
No, like we need somebody now.
Now! It's an emergency! 911 is supposed to come for an emergency!
What the fuck is... Ah! Ah! What the fuck is going on? God, it's like playing charades with like a really aggressively competitive relative. What is it called in Harry Potter? Parseltongue?
He's destroying our...
It reminds me of Stone Cold Steve Austin walking around the ring.
Do that right now.
Oh my god, he's gonna do it!
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Do it!
I'm so sorry.
Do it! Yes! Yes! Woo! And then slam 2 beers together.
Oh my gosh! Can you videotape this, please?
Holy shit, he's going in!
Take his clothes off.
What is happening?
Performing some type of ritual.
It does look like a ritual. Oh, wait a minute, that's going too far. That's going too far. That was real Sigma male energy. But I want to finish it. Hold on, give me a second.
What are you doing?
You wouldn't understand. If I don't see dick, I'll put it back on screen.
What is this?
I have no idea, but I am really drawn into the universe here. He never brings his dick out. I should be good. I've kind of spoiled a little bit of the anime for myself, but we can watch it on screen. Yeah, the pants never come off. This is where we left off.
Hello, officer. My name is Stacia.
Ha! Take that! Oh no, wait a minute. I must have missed that part. We're good though. I backed out just in time. He got a little wild there. He was posting cringe on main. God damn it, I even skimmed through the video and missed the one part he brings out his fucking butt cheeks. Those reflexes though are nutty. You wouldn't see even a single pixel of ass cheek. Now, if he was in a hot tub, I wouldn't be worried. But since he's more like in a public situation, I feel like maybe Twitch wouldn't be okay with it. When I was first watching this, I thought this was Jack's Films playing a part or something as like a little hidden camera Eric Andre kind of thing. But the more I watch it, the less convinced I am that this is really Jack's Films. I don't think he's the kind of guy that would goatee himself in a public hotel lobby, no matter how committed he is to the skit. After having to throw out this hypothesis, I was left with one conclusion. The man's just out here going hog wild.
Anyway, we have friends in here.
Hey, I'm gonna show him what's up real fast.
Not it's good.
No, I'm just saying if he comes in here.
Oh, yeah. No, if he comes in here, there's like 10 of us.
His belt as a weapon technique is actually pretty impressive. He kind of reminds me of like Avatar: The Last Airbender. You can see him start to channel that energy towards the end there as he's working the belt. Maybe he is like one of the last PCP benders out there now, and this is just him showcasing his mastery and his expertise to the public. The way he's able to just slap that belt against the wall, the way he was like kind of charging it up for a little while, gathering a lot of electromagnetic static ready for a chakra vibrating slam that he just blasts on the ground. You know, this isn't just some ordinary guy. This right here is a dangerous master of karate.
Where are the cops? We're on the phone with him again.
Whoops.
Really crazy behavior, and I said, he's standing outside of our glass office, hitting the wall with the belt, cussing in some language. Did you not hear that? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I don't know how I've got like 25 staff members in here.
This guy looks like every car salesman I've ever seen in my life. Maybe that's the backstory here, the lore. He's actually a car salesman, he's had a great day selling shit, and now he's just out here in the apartment lobby ready to celebrate, you know? And this is just him having a jolly old time.
What the hell? Oh, wow, he's
Oh.
my gosh.
He's definitely
Is he on drugs? That's like asking if poop smells like shit. I think it's very clear that he is not in the normal state of mind. I wouldn't necessarily say he's sober in this instance. Or maybe I could be wrong. Maybe he just knows what we don't, you know. He's seen the strings that hold the universe together. He's just so full of infinite wisdom that now he appears crazy to us simpletons. You know, kind of like that shit in Indiana Jones where they open the crypt and then like their faces melt off because it's too beautiful. Or like in Jujutsu Kaisen when Gojo like gives you the infinite, like just hits you with infinity and like you just freeze and can't do anything. Maybe that's what happened. He's just truly transcended us as a species and we're just so far behind him now. But I do like that they all start to panic the second it looks like he's going to try and like climb up the chandelier or rappel down it. I'm really not even sure, but he was going to use like his belt as some kind of climbing apparatus, and all at once everyone just lets out a collective gasp like they thought he was going to die from that height.
It was our office for a leasing meeting, and he snuck in the door and sat down next to me, and I was like,
they
"We're
don't
not
have
open
the
right now.
Jenkins house.
Our manager's
police.
office," and he wouldn't leave.
I can really appreciate the character development here. In the beginning, everyone was panicked about this wild man who just came in here acting fucking crazy, going wild like Donnie from the Thornberrys show. But now, as it progresses, now they start to laugh at him. He's become less of like the boogeyman and more of just like a clown that now everyone's poking fun at and laughing at, which I can really appreciate. It reminds me of the It movie where they finally took away the fear and Pennywise was powerless. But this is like in the real world.
It won't lock it. You have to lock it from the computer. No, you have to lock it from the computer.
What is going on?
I'm honestly jealous of the spectators here in the front row. They're getting a full theatrical performance, complete with a Blue Man Group improvised musical number there from that guy, banging on the desk, banging on the plant, and finishing with a giant cymbal crash of slamming the belt on the floor again. What more could you ask for?
Oh, he's putting this now.
Oh, what the?
Oh my god, I think he's killing himself.
No.
No.
He's not
He's his belt buckle now.
He can't see.
Gino, just let him come in here.
Oh my gosh, you got it. What the hell?
What now? He speaks
My blood
English?
sugar is low.
Unfortunately, that's where this adventure concludes. The police come and escort him out of the apartment lobby, never to be seen again. At least not until the world needs him once more. Then he shall rise like a phoenix from the ashes, to swing from chandeliers and show his butthole to people in apartments once again. But until then, that's about it for this. See ya. I remember when I was a kid in middle school, there was a guy that tried to sell me cigarettes once. It wasn't like an adult or anything, it wasn't a creepy uncle situation, it was just a fellow classmate. And he like pulled me aside, he's like, "Charlie, you wanna see something fucking epic? You ever heard of cigarettes?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've heard of those goofy little things before, why?" So he like opened up his backpack and showed me. He made it seem like he was showing me like a real life fucking Pokemon or something, like a dinosaur egg. And I just never really forgot that. That story doesn't really have anything in common with what we're talking about today, other than I now feel like that kid's selling cigarettes, but instead of selling cigarettes, now I'm just showing you something fucking epic with a grown-ass man melting down and throwing a temper tantrum after being told he has to move one seat to his left in a movie theater.
Seats in this theater.
So let's
Why
find
do you
yours.
have to have mine?
It's not your
Go
seat.
away.
That's not
I
gonna
pay my money. I have a right to it.
sit in your seat. Correct?
Yes,
that's
my
not,
seat.
That's not your seat.
How can you tell it's not my seat?
Because your ticket has your seat number on it.
Absolutely bent him over and blasted his ass with facts and logic. Put his ass into a checkmate, the scholar's mate, by dropping the mic after revealing that his ticket has his assigned seat on it, as pretty much every movie theater does these days. And so, to bring you up to speed, this gentleman was asked to just move to his seat that is on his ticket, and that's when all hell broke loose. That's when the demon came out.
Whatever.
Let's find it.
Whatever.
This can easily
Do
be
your
resolved
own policy.
in
No,
your
no, I'm going to be
argument.
an asshole because you're being an asshole.
I am not.
I'm a patron here.
Okay, and I'm trying to find
And this
your
will be
seat.
the last time that I come to this imagined theater.
My man just dropped a theater on him. That's some straight out of SpongeBob fire. Again, this could all be solved super easily if he just moved to the seat right next to him. But he just will not budge. This is what happens when an unstoppable object meets an immovable sack of rejection and failure.
All right,
great.
I paid
That
my
sounds
money.
great.
Does
Please-
anybody
please
here
don't come
think
back.
that
Please
this
don't come
is
back.
actually a thing where it's like, it doesn't matter where you sit. It's not assigned seating.
It is. Go sit in your own seat. Thank you.
So now we get a look at our protagonist here. It's Hulk Hogan. Hulkmania is running wild here, brother. I'll tell you what. And the camera angle is very cinematic here. I feel like a child hiding inside of my parents' closet. Now they've just busted in and started making out with each other, and I'm really uncomfortable. You also gotta love that the crowd work didn't exactly pan out. Wait, guys, what's the deal with assigned seating? Does anyone else believe in this shit? This shit's more made up than round earth theory, am I right? Like, come on, what's going on with that shit? And some guy's like, bro, just go to your seat. He's like, oh, bah humbug, hey, whatever. It's just this phenomenon that I always find amazing, when someone is so confidently wrong and lost in their own delusion, just huffing too many of their own farts that they just really think that they're right, and put themselves out there to get validation and never find it. It's like those people that are melting down in a public store or at a retail worker, and they film themselves melting down and insulting the retail worker, thinking that they're in the right and it looks good on them. But every single time, it just gets them attacked by everyone, or they get like fired from their job for it because they themselves posted their worst moment thinking that they were in the right.
Oh, thank you.
Please, sir, let's find your seat and we can start. the
No,
meeting.
I'm not going to.
Then I'm going to ask you to leave.
You did, like 4 or 5 times. And that's why now we have a disturbance. Because some other people can't just be like, you know what? I could sit right here.
Sir, we're not doing this
One
anymore.
seat off.
We're not doing
One
this here.
seat off.
I gotta say, man, the employee here has the patience of an actual Zen master. I don't know how someone can be dealing with fucking drunk Yosemite Sam over here like this with such a level head. He's just sitting there being as respectful as possible given the circumstance. So that guy needs a raise. ASAP.
So if I were to move over one seat, everything would be okay.
Sir,
Is that what you're saying?
you're
Is that what you're saying?
Listen.
Does that mean?
Are you gonna listen?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Be my pest.
Okay. At this point, you are disrupting the show for these fine folks. We're gonna ask you to leave. We'll get you a refund though. I'll be nice and get you a refund.
I don't know. I might want to be taken out in handcuffs now.
Sir, let's come on.
I say call his bluff. This is not a guy who's accustomed to confrontation or fighting. When you see him stand up, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is a guy whose only argument has probably ever come from playing Dungeons and Dragons online, or maybe like a rule dispute in Magic the Gathering. There is no chance that this guy would be okay in the face of like actual confrontation. He's just taking advantage of some very respectful and nice workers and being an insufferable asshole. Now, it does sound like he's been drinking, but that's no excuse for this behavior whatsoever. It's such a small, trivial thing to just move one seat over. I imagine the reason they even checked his ticket and then found out he was in the wrong seat is because someone was trying to sit in their assigned seat, but this fucking vigilante swamp-ass monster couldn't help but try and, like, fight for his right to be a nuisance. It's so frustrating that people will cause such a massive scene over something so small. Just move one seat over. It's just not that hard.
I paid my money. I don't understand why it is. If I sit over here, one seat, it's okay, and everything is right with the world. But if not, the world stops and everybody gets upset.
Sir, let's go. I'll be nice and I'll get you a refund.
I want more than just a refund.
Okay.
Can I get a drink?
We'll take care of you in the lobby.
One more drink's gonna have this man in the fetal position crying and asking for his mom to pop a tit for him to suckle. It's not a good idea. He's definitely hit the sauce a little too hard today, though he does strike me as just an already angry person to begin with if he's willing to go this hard on something this insignificant. So hopefully he didn't get a drink, and hopefully he didn't get a refund. He was not entitled to a refund. He literally just donated to this theater to not even see a movie. He went in here confrontational and basically kicked himself out. He does not need a refund. That is being way too nice to this guy. These two workers deserve a raise for having to deal with someone like this. Just an actual public nuisance.
Fine. And then I won't come back.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make sure everybody knows about this shit.
Okay. I appreciate that.
I'm capitulating because I don't want to watch the movie now. You ruined it for me. Because of your silly ass rules.
Okay. I apologize about that.
Take a look at that drip, god damn! Looking suave. Man out here with the red on red, dressed like an actual zit. Or maybe the saturation's a little up and maybe it's orange on orange and he's cosplaying as a traffic cone with a wig. I'm really not sure, but he's looking real good here. Man's looking like Doc Brown going through a phase after Back to the Future 3.
I still think I'm being the bigger person here. Yeah. Should we glad? At least I didn't pay $900 for it. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your movie.
The most predictable twist in cinema history. This guy owns a trench coat and unironically wears it in public. I actually thought when he first picked it up it was a trash bag or like a tarp or something, and then it turned out to be a trench coat and I just thought, yep, that makes sense. That tracks. That sounds about par for the course. He probably also had like a katana stored in the trunk of his car just in case he happened to get jumped by 6 samurais on the way out of the parking lot or something. Just really sad shit. Just a public nuisance for no fucking reason. Could have just moved one seat over and saved everyone the trouble and himself the embarrassment. I think this is just a lesson to everyone to not make a big deal out of such simple and small things. Even like, let's say in some fantasy world, he was right. You know, he was actually in the right seat and the movie theater was wrong. None of them couldn't read. They were all illiterate. Even still, it was such a simple ask. They're asking me to move one seat over. I might be right, but why am I going to fight them? It's their facility. I'll just move over so that way I'm not intruding on everyone else's time. It's just not hard to just do something simple for the sake of everyone else's enjoyment and ease of existence. Like, it's just, I don't know, that shit just drives me up a fucking wall. Anyway, I just saw this today and wanted to talk about it. That's about it. See ya. I had an itch, and the only way to scratch it was to find a nice new public freakout. This one's a little special. It comes from one of those gate attendants that work the gates at those high-class areas where a guard comes out and say, hey, who you see in here? Who do you know? Do you want to buy crack? Okay, and then they let you through. Yeah, this lady here you're about to see has that position, and she's going on like a fucking power trip. She's going full-on Paul Blart, looking to dispense some justice, and the only way she knows how, through bad acting and whining on a telephone.
Car, and now he's videotaping me.
Because this is unlawful.
Ma'am, he's running me over.
No, I'm not.
Ma'am, hurry, please hurry.
Yeah, she's a real thespian, and I have to commend her for her method acting. She even pretends to run away from the vehicle, even though the 911 operator can't see that. She starts backing away from the car, looking all panicked, and then she gets into like a defensive position, like she's trying to stop a fast break in basketball. She really gets into the performance to sell the narrative, even though she didn't need to. She could have just voice acted the performance, but she takes it the extra mile. She has the voice of an angel. Feels as though your ears are being caressed by a chorus of 1,000 mermaids. I don't know who Mike is, but he's nowhere to be found. And if these piercing screeches weren't enough to get his attention, then that guy just doesn't fucking exist, or he's already run very far away from this woman.
Yes, please! Hurry, ma'am! Ma'am, I don't know, and he's a lunatic and he's videotaping me! Ma'am, please hurry! Mike!
Her face looks like a thwomp from Super Mario 64. I bet if you actually did hit her, she'd make a sound. I decided to look into this one because who knows, maybe it was possible she did actually get hit by this car before they started filming. I mean, if I got hit by a car, I'd probably start going crazy too and start screaming for Mike or some shit, but I probably wouldn't be blocking the car that just hit me. I'd probably want to get the fuck away from it. I'd be afraid of it at that point, because if they've already hit me once, what's going to stop them from doing it again, especially if I'm acting like a huge asshole? But anyway, the story is, the guy filming this pulled into an area he didn't mean to be in, so then he pulled around to leave through this gate, and this lady here, Judine, was the gate attendant, and she's stopping him and going on this crazy power trip. I've never seen a Judine, I've never even heard the name Judine before, but this looks about right for Judine, and this just really seems like some straight up Judine behavior.
You're in trouble.
How
You're
so?
going to jail.
How so?
You're hurting me!
How?
You just ran over! Ma'am, please, hurry! He just ran over, and he's still moving! Please, ma'am! Please, hurry!
Now, I really do like her approach here. She's ramping up. She's up in the ante here. Like, ma'am, you gotta get the fuck over here. My God, he's still moving. But I don't think that's enough. You need to double down on the lunacy in the narrative. Ma'am, hurry up. He's still moving. Jesus Christ, is that a bazooka in the backseat? Holy shit, he's getting it out. My God, it's shooting sharks. What the fuck is that? Is that Joseph Stalin in the passenger seat? Ma'am, hurry. Then you go back to the bread and butter. Mike! Mike! Mike!
I'm gonna throw it. Stop! Hurry! Hurry! Hurry!
Ma'am!
He ran over me! He ran over me!
She's saying I ran over her.
He ran over me!
Reinforcements have arrived, and they're not on Judine's side. They kind of come over just to make fun of her. Which, who wouldn't, you know what I mean? It almost looks routine for them. They just calmly walk over. They look genuinely embarrassed from the few frames you can see of them. And it just seems like a common occurrence with Judine. Oh, shit. Judine's throwing herself on top of vehicles again and calling the police. What the fuck?
I have the whole thing on recording. Sir, come on.
No, you're good. Hey,
This is unbelievable, man.
Good. We just heard it on the radio. The cops are already coming.
Can I please go?
You can't. The cops are
I
over there.
can. I absolutely can.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you. If you want, the cops are
arrested.
contact-
I want him arrested!
I have done nothing wrong.
He's gonna leave! He's gonna leave! He'll run over you, Chase! Chase, get Marvin! Please, call Marvin! Please, call Marvin! Get him out of here!
She was really out here making a last-second push for an Oscar. However, it didn't pay off. The man did pull away. He got about a mile or two down the road. Cops pulled him over about this call. He showed them the video. They let him go. No charges. Judine gets fired. Happy ending all around, and pretty much what you'd expect. But I don't think it's all bad for Judine, because this really shows her acting chops. She's able to convey a schizophrenic old woman beautifully. So while the door may be closed on her time as a gate attendant, perhaps a new door has swung wide open in her acting career. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see her on the big screen. That's it. See ya. There have been more fights at Waffle Houses than the entire history of the Roman Colosseum. It's a place where people go mainly just to throw down, it seems, and then maybe get like a waffle to celebrate either a victory or rub it in their wounds after a tough loss. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the prerequisites for being a waitress or waiter at a Waffle House is a black belt in Muay Thai. The food really is secondary to the true Waffle House experience of being able to be either a spectator in a brawl or a participant. Waffle House is a lot like my asshole. You just never know when shit's gonna pop off. And it feels like it's always just a matter of time before a fight breaks out. It's got this big reputation now as the go-to Thunderdome for giving or receiving ass whoopings. It's like almost a curse that haunts Waffle House, where you go in there in a good mood, but the second you cross that threshold, it's like that scene out of Kingsman at the church where everyone just like flips on this switch and they're just fighting each other. I don't know what exactly it is about Waffle Houses that bring out the demon, but yes, it is well known now how often fights happen there. And recently there was a massive one that made headlines everywhere, and I didn't even cover it on my channel. I've covered a lot of Waffle House fights, but this one a lot of people noticed I was uncharacteristically silent on, thinking that I was like a Waffle House hipster where this fight was too mainstream for me to talk about, but nothing could be further from the truth. I was as entertained as everyone else was. I'm sure all of you have seen the big brawl by now. I can't show you any clips because with the YouTube's new policy, I would get fucked in the mouth so quick for doing that. So I already know you've seen the brawl, but the thing is, I enjoyed it. I just didn't have a whole lot to say about it. It was mainly grappling. There was like not a whole lot of like squaring up and delivering knuckle sandwiches. It was pretty much grappling until the end, where it finished with a WWE style chair throw, which led to a now historic internet moment. This iconic parry.
Yo, they still... Oh my god, bro!
That was a frame-perfect parry like something out of Dark Souls. She got iframes out of that right there. That is an absolute game ender. She threw that chair with velocity too. That was a cannon. And she not only deflected it, but she like fucking spun it around her forearm here and then threw it to the ground. It was so flashy. Fucking anime couldn't have been smoother than that. It was nutty, and it took the internet by storm. There's tons of edits around this now, with like John Cena being the one throwing the chair. It went super viral. However, this actually had a wildly detrimental impact to that lady's career. She got fired for this, which I think is just wrong. She didn't start the fight. It's a fucking Waffle House. A fight is inevitable. It's like trying to stop the wind from blowing. She was powerless, so what did she do? Defend herself, which I think is totally within her right to do. She shouldn't lose employment because she deflected a chair. Now, I do realize that leading up to this, she was actively engaged in this brawl, but even still, I don't blame her. The brawl broke out and she was defending herself as well as her fellow employees. It's something I don't think she should have lost her job over, but it goes even deeper than that. Not only did she lose her job, it seems she's been banned from ever working at a Waffle House again, which makes no sense. She should be like the head of security for Waffle House going forward. She should be training other employees on how to handle situations the way she did. Like, just imagine the wisdom she could share with everyone. By the end of her training, Waffle House employees will be able to slap bullets out of midair. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. She was punished for something I don't think she even did wrong. So, it's a big L from Waffle House. I'll go ahead and show you from the articles where she posted a video going over it.
Can't ever work for Waffle House again. I tried working for another one, like, sometime earlier this year, and I had found out that I was blacklisted.
That's so fucked up. After a successful parry like that? Man, Waffle House is so dumb for that. She should honestly have been promoted. She could have been the face of their marketing campaign. Like, yeah, we know we have a reputation for fights breaking out, but now we have our own Batwoman. And then it's just like her parrying chairs or something. They could have really leaned into it. Fucking stupid L Waffle House, man. Jesus. I don't know how they couldn't see this easy slam dunk for PR. What was she supposed to do? Just let it hit her in the face? I don't think she was blacklisted for parrying the chair. I think she got blacklisted because it might be company policy that when a fight breaks out and you're like participating, you get fired. I don't think it was necessarily this successful parry. I don't think it would matter if she got hit in the face with it or not. She threw the salt shaker. Oh, was she the one that threw the salt shaker? Okay, then that was probably it. Even still, though, this whole brawl isn't her fault. If they fire everyone who gets in fights at Waffle House, how are they still finding so many employees? Yeah, good point. The turnover rate of employees at Waffle House has to be unreal. If you're getting fired for fights, like, you're going to be going through new employees once a week. It's so sad how such a triumphant moment with that chair Perry could turn into something so devastating for her career. Because she's still out of a job, to my knowledge, which is shocking. I would have thought, like, some other corporation or something would have picked her up, just even to capitalize off of her, like, the viral marketing capabilities she now has. But to my knowledge, that hasn't happened. So I feel really bad for her because, again, I feel like she was just defending herself from the chair being thrown at her as well as just like the general brawl. So I just wanted to share this because I think this is a big fuck up from Waffle House. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah. I'm absolutely terrified of flying. I haven't been on an airplane since 2016. I have a genuine phobia of flying. However, if I was guaranteed a show like you're about to see, blessed with a fucking public meltdown of this caliber every time I'd get on a plane, I would be the first one in line at the TSA to get fingers up my butthole so I can get a great spot on the plane and watch this shit happen. This is glorious. So you're about to see a frat boy lose his mind after going 2 beers deep. He just gets a little sloppy.
You guys fucking suck! My parents are worth the fucking $2 million goddamn dollars. And you know what? You fucking suck!
Meet Maxwell. I think that name fits him perfectly. It's like straight out of South Park. If they had a douchey character that bragged about their parents' wealth, they just slap on the name Maxwell because it fits. He's just the quintessential failed son who only lives off mommy and daddy's money, just constantly suckling on their teats for the rest of his life, living in their shadow. If I was watching this video muted, I would assume he was bragging about his parents' wealth. The kind of guy that's like, hey, fight me, but if you do, my dad's gonna sue you. And he also works for Bungie, so he'll get banned on Xbox Live too, nerd.
Yeah, you know what? My grandpa is worth more than your fucking life. My fucking attorney. Shut the fuck up!
To catch you up to speed on the lore here, Maxwell has ordered 2 drinks. He's gone where no man has gone before. He's 2 brewskis deep in here and he's feeling it. He's fucked up. Also, he apparently had a little bit of an accident. He spilt on his shirt and mommy forgot to put the bib on him, so he had to go to the bathroom to change, came out shirtless, and one of the flight attendants offered to help get a shirt from his carry-on. After Maxwell was helped get into his new dinosaur t-shirt, Maxwell said thank you in the only way he knows how, with sexual assault. He allegedly groped her chest, and not just the one flight attendant, but another one as well. So in Maxwell's fucking caveman brain, he thought honking titties was the optimal way of giving his thanks. So it sounds like Maxwell may be entering the no-fly list, but might have a future at Activision Blizzard.
Chill out!
Ladies and gentlemen.
The conclusion to this video is one of the best I've ever seen, actually duct taped to the chair, like a mummy getting fucking mummified and thrown into a sarcophagus. Absolutely spectacular. I couldn't be happier with the way they handled this, to be honest. I don't know if this is by the book, like standard protocol, but if it isn't, it should be. How to handle a reckless, dangerous passenger, just tape them down. That sounds remarkable. So, this is where the video ends, but it's not where the story stops. Here's a bit of the story here, the cliff notes, as well as a beautiful mugshot of Maxwell in all of his glory, with one of the most punchable faces I've seen in quite some time. This isn't some small thing. It's not like he's only going to be banned from this particular airline, which was Frontier in this case. From what I was reading, assaulting flight staff can carry up to 20 years in jail, or like a $250,000 fine, which to Maxwell and his extremely wealthy family might be nothing but pennies in the bucket, you know. Maxwell's an extremely successful leech. I'm sure Daddy and the 5 cars he sold at his dealership can probably get him out of that fine, but 20 years in jail, well, that's nothing to scoff at. This just happened. This is some fresh, stinky news right now, so they're still investigating. All of the involved party members from the flight side of things are being interviewed, as well as getting everyone's statements. So don't know exactly how this is going to all wrap up in this anime, though I do imagine none of it's going to be a good outcome for Maxwell. This just goes to show you, if you're one of those fucking douchebags who brags about his parents' wealth, you are destined for a life of utter failure. You will end up like Maxwell, 2 beers deep and ruining your life over nothing. I also don't have anything against Maxwell's parents, because if they truly are as wealthy as Maxwell thinks they are, where they could just like own all of Frontier Airlines, they're certainly not sharing any of that wealth with Maxwell. He's flying coach on the cheapest airline in the entire US. I'm pretty sure Frontier has the cheapest tickets available, and he's flying coach there. So if his family truly is that wealthy, they're not helping him out that much, and I respect that. I think that's great. So yeah, pretty wild story. I always love to see a douchebag get taped to a fucking chair in a plane, I guess. That's pretty incredible stuff. It's like that scene out of Casino Royale when James Bond starts getting his nutsack blasted on after he's taped to a chair. So it's great. Fucking wonderful. That's about it. See ya.